we are in fundamental science, bye-bye, otherwise. But by its very history, complexity aims at more than that. So, and this is the challenge, because not so many sciences declare at the beginning that they are not self-contained, but they are open. So the beauty and the difficulty of complexity is that it is very ambitious. It wants to reach audiences and communities beyond a small community of highly specialized people. And this is of course related also to interdisciplinarity. 20 or 30 years ago, everybody was speaking of interdisciplinarity. If you look today at the curricula, they become more narrow. Maybe medicine in Mexico is an exception.
Yes, it's an exception.
But they become more narrow. For instance, in particle physics,
But you know, for instance, in medicine, there is another level in epidemiology, for instance. Mexico has one of the it's number one in the world in obesity and some problems on diabetes. Number one in the world. And well, the problem is not simple. It's not just a feeding problem and some but it's much more complicated. It's related with some genetic aspects, and so it's it may be the mixture between Indian groups and Spaniards was not very good for that. And so actually nowadays Mexicans have this tendency to develop this kind of problems. Now to study that we need more models, mathematical models, which take into account the changing boundary conditions permanently, and so they are not simple. Not classical mathematics don't let us to go as far as we would like.
But again, I mean, many traditional scientists do not show this open-mindedness. And they tend to say, well, I train people who are very good at the tools of necessary for doing research in string theory or in particle physics or in material sciences and so on, and that's it. So complexity keeps the idea of interdisciplinarity alive, but it is...
Yes, it's urgent that complexity shows to the world that we can actually do concrete things which are not possible.
It should not forget its fundamental status either.
Oh yes.
Because otherwise it will just be a utilitarian thing.
Yes, of course. Talking.
So you need to have a nucleus of people who are developing tools.
For instance, now there is a research going, very interesting, relating gastroenterology, for instance, and autism in psychiatry. It seems there is some link among those things, some toxins produced by some bacteria in the intestine that goes to the central nervous system and provoke this kind of things in the first 3-4 years of life.
It's very interesting.
Oh yes, of course. So complexity might be the tool to go deeper into the explanation of this, and not just talking, but to predict correctly the outcome of these kind of things.
Traditionally, doctors have here an awkward way, a naive way to express this. When something is unexpected and some symptoms are combined with others from different sources,
idiopathico.
They say systemic disease.
Yes, or idiopathic.
Yes.
But that's an elegant way of saying we have no idea.
Systemic is a way to say too many things together and so on. But in reality, there is somehow hidden in there complexity-related phenomena.
Biochemical, very complex systems in biochemistry also. That's true.
So there is a huge future, but it has to be managed in a certain way, and the community is very dispersed. So
Yes.
we need some. We have some
Gathering.
in the last
Yes.
section of this.
This was
of
our
the book
book on
the future of complexity. Yes.
I might start reading this on that section, and then of course to read from the beginning.
And also in these 5 questions on complexity, I make some comments on this, on the future of complexity.
Dr. Nicolis, we as a university were born specifically to do research in the field of complexity, social systems, hard science. It was born in Mexico in a very modest way. What would you recommend to an initiative like what we have had in order to expand our horizons in terms of having a net contributing in both ways?
Yes, I think the idea would be to be part of a network. I mean, to initiate or to join a network of groups and institutions active in this field. So there are some centers.
Would it be possible, for instance, in this institution to have a certain kind of relationship, for instance?
I believe so. And there
Okay.
are several other nonlinear centers in Europe, like in Warwick, in Germany. Now, so there has to be some kind of. I mean, this network can be, first of all, a network without walls and without finance.
Yes.
Just like a kind of association of
Yes.
with possible with some program of exchange of people. And
Exchange,
so on.
right.
Then once formed, such a network can organize events,
Absolutely.
worldwide events, and ask for funding
Exactly.
for these events.
Yes, as you say, care should thus be taken to improve the often poor communication currently existing between